Jodi, welcome to the show. I am so excited that you are here.
Thank you. Thank you, Ani, for inviting me.
M- This is the podcast where I want all this information for myself. I have an 8-year-old son. Obviously, we're going to talk about empty nesters and give moms a lot of advice who have empty nests, but who don't also. And as I was sharing before the conversation, my son often goes to his dad. I'm divorced, and sometimes even grandma takes him for 2 weeks, month, 2 months, and the first few days I'm like, what I am going to do with my life, but because it happened so many times, I already have a system, and I realized so many moms have not don't have this luxury for grandmas to take them for 2 months, and then when their children hit the age where they leave the house, all of this is so new for them. They have no idea what to do. And you, first of all, I'm so grateful that you dared yourself and helped yourself. And then you are now helping so many moms. But first of all, can you briefly share your own story of your own empty nest? What emotions? How did you, like, what was your thinking? What was going on in your life?
Yeah, so I mean, for me, Ani, thank you for asking me that. And I just want to say one thing before I introduce, say what my journey was. You're in a great time to hear this conversation. Your son being so young, and yes, you're getting a little practice because not everybody has that separation. So you've had to go through it, so you kind of know what it's like to miss him, for a while because that's a long time a month. All right, so for me, my daughter is now 30 and my son is now 27. But when he was a freshman in high school and she was a senior, it was in that year that I realized I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have a lot of extra space in my life when my daughter leaves. Because even though my son was still 3 years behind her, when one leaves, you have all this space from that one person. And my daughter was a really big personality. And I always say to parents and moms, emptiness starts when your child gets their driver's license. So I'm from the US, and in the US, that's 16 years old. So I know I had one more year before my son got his license. And then it was like, bye bye, mom, even though he lived here. So in that moment that I had this realization that, wow, I'm going to have a lot of new open space in my life. What do I want to do with it?
Hmm.
And I did have a career. I had my own business. I used to sell printing. And I remember thinking, is that really what I want to do? And I was like, ew. I was like, oh no, no, not fulfilling, not fun. And I was, part of me wanted, like, can I have fulfilling and fun? Like, I'm
Hmm.
watching my children have fun. Like, this is a great time of life to watch your children because they pretty much, most of the children in high school and that age, they're like embracing the fun of life. They're not thinking about, oh, what if it doesn't work? Or what if I fail? Or they just do. They just jump right into life and have a good time. And I realized I wanted to do that. And it was by asking myself that question and answering it like, no, I do not want to sell printing the rest of my life, that I believe opened up my mind and my intuition to say to use, intuitively rich. Um, that something rose up inside of me that said, there is something more meant for me to do. And I don't know what that was. And I want for anybody listening, moms, dads, it wasn't necessarily about a career that I was looking for. I didn't know. I just knew that what I was doing is not what I wanted to take with me into my emptiness years, my midlife chapter. And that just led to a series of invitations and opportunities that I said yes to. And I don't know that I would have said yes had I not had that moment of clarity that I wanted something more. And through that journey, Ani, I realized I was having a lot of fun. I was saying yes to a new fun business opportunity, a part-time gig, and saying yes to going to like these women empowerment conferences that I never even knew existed. And I was excited again, like a spark was ignited, like reignited inside of me. And I remember the moment I realized that I had been introduced to life coaching. I thought, you know what? I want to learn the skills of a life coach. I didn't want to do one-on-one coaching. I never thought, oh, I'm going to have a one-on-one coaching practice. I just knew I wanted to learn the skills. It was something for me to grow and learn. I hated school when I was in school, but now I was choosing to go through a program. And I realized as I sat around the room with the 10 other men and women going through the program with me that I wanted to support moms just like me. I didn't want any mom left behind in her room, curled up in the ball, crying because they couldn't move on without their children. That was unacceptable to me. I
Mhm.
wanted to support moms in feeling the sadness and embracing, yes, this is a grieving period for some of us. And there was so much more possibility and opportunity waiting. And that's how I got my start.
That uh that is so beautiful because I heard this quote and I don't remember exactly how it went, but it said, "You're gonna be as successful as honest you're gonna be with yourself." So you dared to be honest with yourself, and that's something so many people don't do. To be honest with themselves, truly say what they think about themselves and about their lives. Sometimes I say that the moment I became a mom, I entered like almost like this simulation until I left it. And it feels like all the things that is truly important, we don't pay attention to it. And what I mean by this is the laundry, the good dirty house, this homework, and all of these things that so many moms focus on that makes us so unhappy. We think this is the most important part. And then I had to sit down with myself and be like, the laundry will wait. I can sit down and write a blog when I have an hour. This is gonna bring me fulfillment. But so many, and this happened to me when I watched this YouTube video by Dr. Shefali Tsabari. I had like almost like this awakening, and my parenting shifted. And I'm so lucky that my son was 11 months old by that time. And I want to let's remind women what is important and what do you think is important in women's life. Obviously, laundry needs to be done. Children
Yeah.
need to be fed, but
Yeah.
99% of moms are focused on the, I think, wrong things. And I'm using this word intentionally. Please tell me, what do you think is important in women's life?
Not losing something for you, not losing something for you. And here's what I mean by that. Going back to my story, when I said, oh my God, I am so unfulfilled by this, I don't want to be doing this, I had a moment of guilt. I had that overwhelming feeling like, well, who am I not to be fulfilled? I had a great life. I still do. Married to an amazing man. I don't have a sob story for you. My children were doing well. I'm running my own business, which allows me to schedule my own time. So I had that something for myself. And I realized that the guilt, I had to let that go. It wasn't about me as a mom. It wasn't about me as a wife. It wasn't about me as a businesswoman. It was about me, Jodi, the Jodi before all those roles came into my life. So I think one of the most important things for a mom listening and a dad, but more so I think the mom gets lost in it more, um, is that it's okay to not only want something for yourself, but to embrace it and have it for yourself. And it can just be what you said, 10 minutes of sitting down to write in a journal. It can, whatever it is. And I understand that in every phase of our children's lives and in every phase of motherhood and parenthood, there are going to be times where life gets in the way and life gets in the way. Just don't allow it to completely hijack and derail you from things that you like to do too long. And so I liken it. I had a mom once say, but my kids are so young. I just don't have the time. And I said, well, is that true? Because depending on your children, if you want to go walking and exercise more and you just can't without them, go with them. It might not be ideal. You're not alone, but it's a start. You're still prioritizing something important. Do you want to be outside in nature? Take them with you. You want reading time. We're going to have reading time. Start a reading, 10-minute, 20-minute read. Set a timer with your kids. We're going to set the timer, get a fun timer, and we're going to read 10 minutes a day together. You can learn what you want to learn. I'm going to learn. And you sit there side by side and you do it. However you have to do it, just don't, this is your permission slip. Your permission slip that no matter how busy and how chaotic and how challenging your life might be right now, find something. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, some way to do something that you want to do. Don't say no because your child wants to do something else. Stop putting yourself at the bottom of your to-do list all the time. There's a time and a place to put your people in your life ahead of you, but not every single time. If you continue and always put your opinions, your thoughts, and your desires at the bottom, when it comes time for your kids to leave, you will have that, oh my God, now what moment? And it will feel so heavy. It'll feel a little lighter if you can put that into practice.
Yeah, I love the quote. Days are long, but years are short with the
Right.
little ones. And it's gonna go so fast. And I love how you said don't to not lose yourself. And I had to train myself. I had to wake up every single day and say, what does Annie want? Literally, this is how I would phrase the question. Because this is like guilt is a comfortable trap. It just keeps you there. And we think guilt is productive. It's the most unproductive thing that we like guilt. I don't like that emotion because it just keeps you stuck. And the worse you feel, the worse stuck you get. So we have to like ditch the guilt. I know when we are giving birth, we're giving birth to guilt, to mom guilt just reappears in our life and it just stays there still to this day, even though I have the awareness. I still make mom guilt still kicks in, but I had to train myself every morning. I would wake up and say, what does Annie want? And then I'm saying I am the most important person in my own life, but not everyone can give themselves the permission. So I love the work that you do. I love the reminder for women.
Yeah.
And we talked about daring before. And to be honest with yourselves, to not be that mom who says, I don't have time or I can't, I physically can't, because it takes a little bit more courage to be like, you know what, I do have 15 minutes throughout the day. I cannot scroll on my phone and use that 15 minutes to do something more fulfilling. So how would you dare? Where do you get the courage from? How do you start being honest with yourself when all you have been lying to yourself all these years?
Baby steps, baby steps. So I was the mom. So I grew up and watching my mom, who's an amazing mom. I still have my mom, but everything was always in order. The dishes were done, the laundry was done, and I was a pretty organized person, not obsessive, but organized. And it took me after the first year of my daughter's life to realize if I don't let the laundry sit for an hour a day, if I don't let the dishes sit till the end of the day, I'm going to miss out on the fun with my child, with my children. And I'm also never going to have time to read 10 pages of a good book. Never. So, although those things have to get done, do they have to get done right now? Do they really have to get done now? And yes, we're exhausted at the end of the day. But I used to say, I love what you said, Ani, that you say, what do I want? You start your day, what do I want? My big go to question is, how do I want to feel?
Mm.
So at the end of the day, when I let the dishes sit in the sink, not all over the place, I'd rinse them off, put them in the sink. I can't live in chaos. That's me. But if you're okay with them all over the place, do you. I'm not telling anybody to, you be you. Um, and I was so tired. And if my husband wasn't around to help, that I'm going to get into that thing in a minute. That tip, I would say, and I look at the dishes, and part of me is like, I'll do them in the morning. I'm like, how am I going to feel when I wake up in the morning and I have a sink full of dishes? If the answer was like, okay, okay, most of the time it's like, it's more important for me to start my day off without that type of chore. So that's what motivated me for the 10 minutes to clean it up before I went to bed. And then the other tip is we have to start asking for what we want. We have to stop being martyrs to our guilt, thinking, well, I'm the one, I'm the mom. I have to do this. I have to do it. No, you can ask your partner for help. You can ask a friend for help. We as women have to learn to ask for what we want. People are not mind readers. I will be married to my husband. It'll be 34 years this year. I still have to ask him for what I need. I still have to tell him, you know what? A hug would be really good right now. And I love this man. And I still have to tell him after 34 years, you know what? I just don't have the energy to do dishes in the sink. He's like, I got it. He doesn't care. We have to ask, not assume that somebody's going to come in and just magically read our minds, no matter how well you think they know you. So let it be and ask for help. And you will find the little chunks of time show up. And you'll find also that you show up more joyful, lighter, more carefree, happier in your interactions, whether it's with your children, your partner, or your friends, or even at work. And that we hear it. Look, Ani, you talk about it on your show. We did not invent this self care thing. We did not invent allowing yourself to put yourself first. You don't, it's not putting yourself first at the expense of other people.
I agree.
There are times where I literally cancel appointments, even now for my adult children. If they need me, I will do that. And I've also gotten good at saying, you know what? If my daughter's coming in on a Thursday and she tells me like last minute, I'll be like, you know what? I have something Thursday until like 4 o'clock. So I won't be able to see you till 4. She's like, okay. So you have to get comfortable with the boundaries. And most of the time, the people in our life are okay with it. We just have convinced ourselves that we're not permitted to ask for help or to put the boundaries in place.
Hmm. But you're a mean girl if you have boundaries.
Oh my gosh, I know, right?
You
You don't
are.
have to call them
Um,
boundaries. You don't have to tell them. They don't know what it is.
no, like if you have boundaries, you are a challenging person. No one likes because they cannot walk all over you. So you want to be the good girl. You want to be liked. You want your family to praise you and say like, oh, what kind of, like you're amazing. You are always there for us. But that's not how it works. I feel like my mom that does it so well. She has her boundaries so good, but she's also always there for us. And me and my sister have such a good like respect her. We love and respect her.
So you learned. That's the beautiful thing about this, that you just hit a key point. Our children and the people in our lives, our parents, our brothers, our sisters, our coworkers, we are teaching them. What greater gift can a mom give her children than to have a boundary and show them that, you know what, my exercise class on Tuesday is really important to me. It makes me feel really good. So we're going to have to do this after or tomorrow. Wow. Wow. Yes, maybe your child is young and they're going to be like, but I really wanted to do it. And they're disappointed, but you are teaching them how to respect their self-worth. It's really a respect of your worth and you're modeling that. So when we think we're getting accolades for being great, 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 we're not really teaching them about their self-worth if our self-worth is always put at the bottom of the food chain.
Exactly. And
Yeah, I love that you
laundry.
said that about your mom. She
But
taught
the
you.
thing, she taught me, but the thing is also 10 years of my life, my grandma raised me and she has zero boundaries.
Right.
So I had to teach myself. And then obviously my mom, we started like she had to leave to provide for us. It's not like she left us. She was more present from a distance than my friend's moms, but she had to leave to provide for us and create the life for me. But then when we were like together and reunited, I learned so much from her boundaries. But then I had an example of my grandmother who had no boundaries, who was always there for everyone and no one appreciated her. So I saw my mom gets more appreciated. My grandma who does more doesn't get appreciated because people will appreciate if they ask you to do something for them. They will appreciate that. You shouldn't do everything for them without even them asking, but that's a different topic. But you are so right to show boundaries, and I love how you tied that to self-worth.
Yeah.
I never thought about that. When you have boundaries, you respect yourself.
Yes.
That's so important.
Yeah.
uh do you have because women might be listening to us and they still have the list of why they can't be doing that. Before I ask you my question, it's also so important when you said you have to make a decision that and busy is a reflection of just priorities. That's what busy is. So when I did realize laundry, clean house, all of that takes so much time, I decided to hire people. And before I made my decision, I was like, that's going to be so expensive and I wouldn't be able to do that. But when I was like, I want to spend this time with my son and not be tired at the end of the day, the help appeared and it wasn't as expensive as I thought. So making decision, when you
Yes.
make decision, you attract the right people who are going to help you. So I
Yes.
to say that how important that was. There might be moms listening to us and they're like, okay, this is you. Her mom had boundaries. Jodi had her own business. She was still doing something. I have nothing. I don't know what to do. Is there any resources or anything else that people can go through? People can identify themselves, or how can those moms benefit from our conversation? Obviously, people want to see whatever they don't want to see, but is there anything that you can add that can spark that inspiration for those moms who have nothing going on for themselves?
So I want to share that I want to get, and I'm going to start with that decision part because this is the dare method. So I have taken improvisational classes, improv. Have you heard of improv? Improvisation comedy. So I've taken courses. It's so life skills. The number one tenet of improv is something called yes and. So the first thing I will say, and this is where my very candid personality as a coach comes out. I can be sometimes I'm very direct, and I want to be really direct. You can be a yes but person, or you can be a yes and person.
I have chills.
Okay. Yes, but gets you nowhere. Gets you nowhere. But yes, and as I talk about it, it's an invitation. You can build on yes and. So, yes, I always had my foot in the work world and in the motherhood world, and I still found myself lost and unfulfilled. Yes, I gave up everything to be a mom. Now I can start rebuilding that. Or it can sound like, yes, I gave up everything to be a mom, but you, Jodi, you didn't. But this is what I did. And you can't go anywhere with but. So the first thing I'm going to do is watch your language, watch your self talk. Let's shift from yes, but to yes, and. Your journey might be a longer journey than mine. It might have 5 bumps in the road. I had 3 bumps in the road, but it's still a journey. So the first place to start is with a decision. It's what you said, Ani. You said, I have an acronym for DARE. DARE on is a mantra. Use it. Use it when you need that extra push. But the first part of DARE is making a decision because you said it. When you make a decision, you're actually saying yes and. You're, I'm ready. I'm ready to focus on me. Oh my gosh, everything just opened up. Everything. You could feel the energy shift. When I said, no, I don't want to sell printing the rest of my life, I was saying yes to something else. So there's a time to say no that is actually a yes to something else. And everything opened up for me. So start with a decision. Decide you're ready for something different. I'm ready for something different. I don't know how to get it or what the first step is. I just know that I'm ready. I'm making a decision that I'm open to something different. I'm ready to put myself first. And when you do that, something awakens. It awakens within you and it awakens around you. It awakens possibility and opportunity. That's the A in dare. It awakens something. And when something awakens, sometimes like excitement comes, but fear can come and doubt can come. And that's where you have to do that inner work. We can't get into that today, but it does awaken something inside of you. Again, a shift in energy in a good way. And that leads to reimagining. Now you get to reimagine what if I could do something just for me? What might that look like? Start with a list. Start thinking back of things you liked to do before you were anybody's mom, anybody's partner, anybody's anything. Go back to your 16-year-old self. What were things you liked to do? What were things you thought about doing, but did sideline them, put them at the bottom of your list because of life? And what are things that you see other people doing that when you see them do it, you think, oh, that looks cool. I could do that. That looks like fun. I want to try that. Start with a list. That's the reimagining. We have to dream again. We have to dream. Watch your children. They dream. They daydream. They pretend they're princesses and firefighters and presidents. And I mean, dream again. We get so serious because we're raising a human being. I mean, that's a serious job. Bringing a baby, a child into this world, that's serious business. Well, sometimes we can forget to dream. So the deciding awakens and leads to reimagining and dreaming again. And when you finally get to the E, you're ready to experience things. That's the daring. That's saying yes to doing and trying new things one little step at a time. And it can be as simple as taking a different route to work, going to a different supermarket. Sounds silly, but you're changing up your routine. It could be spending a day letting people in front of you in line, or it could be jumping out of an airplane, not telling you to do it, but daring could be taking a class. Maybe you never finished school and you want to take a class. Daring could be enrolling, finding a book club. So you take that Reimagine dream list and you prioritize it and you start trying things.
Mm.
And you might say, "Ooh, I didn't like that." That's not a failure. You just learned you didn't like that. Off the list it goes, on to the next thing. So it starts with the decision. You have to be yes and. Yes and.
So simple. I never thought about that. It just words. Yes, but and yes, and.
Yep. All from
And
improv.
I think this is something people can hold on to and take it. And a simple self-care practice. I started it by buying flowers for my home. Every week, you go, you buy these flowers, you feel like you're a main character in the movie. You bring these flowers, you cut them, you decorate it. It's such a simple thing, but it brings so much joy. And I should start doing that again.
Yeah, Anya, I buy flowers every Friday. There's something, it brings a smile on my face. It starts my weekend. And like you said, I put them in little vases all over the house. Love them.
And
Yeah,
then you
buy
see
yourself
and
flowers.
all those negative thoughts come back, and you look at your flowers and you're like, oh, hi. So
Yeah,
it's something very simple.
do something that boosts your mood. I mean, my kids make fun of me. They say my house is a vision board. Make a vision board. Your list is a vision board, by the way. That
Yeah, I
list is
have written things everywhere. My sister came the other day. She was like, I went to the restroom. We have like mantras there too. It's like everywhere you look, it's mantras. It's like vision board for me too.
like you said, when you look at the flowers, how do the flowers make you feel when you look at them?
It's just like expand something inside of me.
Right. So surround yourself with things that make you feel the way you want to feel,
Hmm.
make you smile, make you warm and fuzzy. Turn on music that you like.
Yes, how many today I danced, and it was a good 10 years before I had this practice where I'm just like gonna dance at home.
Yeah.
Something so simple. So
Yeah,
simple.
it is. It is. And listen, I followed, there's a thought leader. He's no longer on this earth. His name is Jim Rohn. Have you heard of Jim Rohn?
Yeah, yes,
Oh,
yes, of
he
course.
has a saying.
Coach
He,
of many people that I listen to today. Yeah.
yeah, well, we're in the same space. So yeah, so we listen to the good ones. Um, he says easy to do, easy not to do. A lot of stuff is easy to do. It's also easy not to do. Let's see if we can be an easy to do yes and person. I promise you, things will start to shift. Might not happen all at once, might just be little at a time, but things will start to move in your favor because that's how the universe works. Shift your energy and the energy shifts with you.
Yeah, the way I love that passage from the book. I have it somewhere, but I don't remember. Like the way shows up as you start working on it, you know?
Oh, I like that.
So what if my I always want to like have this spark, and people are gonna get this spark with this conversation, but they also need to do so much more work. It's not as easy as you said to do all of this. So where can people find you? What are some ways that you bring value to people today? Do you have one-on-one coaching? And yes, please share all that information. It will be also down in the description box. But for the people who don't want to go there or are lazy to go there, please share all this information
I
with.
am happy to. I want to first reiterate something you said. This is everything we shared is a practice. I've been working on myself for 12 years. Now, it doesn't have to take you 12 years, but it's a practice. So do make a small change without judgment. Go easier on yourself. Give yourself the same kind of encouragement, self care you give to your children. With that being said, Ani, everything about me can be found at Jodi and Jodi's with an I, momswhodare.com. I have a Facebook group called Moms Who Dare, and I have a membership community for the Dare On membership community, but we call ourselves the Double Darers. Everything has to have fun. And I have a podcast just like you. I have a podcast called Beyond Emptiness. And just to share with you, there is an episode called Yes and
Mm.
I talk about that. But you can find the Facebook group, the membership community, and the podcast, and a little bit more about me. I have 8 fun facts on my website at jodisilverman.com. It's the best place to start.
I love that, and thank you for adding that. My idea of that is I'm gonna be my own bestie, my own best friend. And when I get overstimulated, I say something to my son or cannot be there when he falls asleep, and I feel guilt. I'm like, Annie, of course you are overstimulated because 11 months of the year you do everything by yourself. We have to be our own best selves. And you said 12 years. I'm still not the parent I envision myself to be. I call it a parenting gap. The person I am and the person I want to be. The mom I want to be is here and I am here. Like it's a slow process.
Well,
So
and
this is not us putting any guilt on anyone. I am still working in progress and you are
yes,
still work in the progress.
Ani, I'm learning how to be a parent to adult children. That's a
It's
whole different form
exactly.
of,
You've never been a parent to an adult. Every year is different. You learn as you go.
yeah, because I can't parent my 30-year-old like you do your 8-year-old.
Exactly.
Yeah, no. So
So,
it's a journey. Life's a journey, right?
yes. And is there, before I ask you, my last question is, which is to leave us with a message. Is there anything you want to add to this conversation to make it feel more complete? If not, you can just leave me and the listeners with a message, not something to inspire anyone, but something you are focused on right now or you feel guided to share.
So right now, as we're talking, and when you go to my website, you'll see it now, but it's about to change because I'm shifting. What's so important for me right now is to lead with the dare on. I'm looking for it with the dare on message as a mantra, using dare on as your fuel to dream big. Oh, what? Okay, wait. Dream. There it is. To
Yes.
dream big, to believe you can face your fears, to give you strength to persevere,
Mm.
and to move you into action. So my whole reason for being and doing is to help women, men, anybody who needs it, but mainly women, to know that they have this, they're stronger than they believe, that and use this as their mantra, dare on, whatever it means to you in the moment. Um, and yeah, and there's more to come next year. There's a big project in the works, but right now it's all about daring on. And it could be a small little thing is starting with a list and just making a decision. A list is the best way to start. And I love use your question. What do I want? And you might not know the answer, but ask the question because you're asking it means
It's
you're
gonna come.
ready. You're making a decision that you're ready.
It's gonna come. And this suddenly I'm so emotional imagining women listening to this, remembering myself when I started. And what if was my mantra for so long? What if I wrote a book and it started with what if? And then I was like, no, I'm not gonna write a book. But then I was like, what if I
Right?
can write a book? What if your life can be different? Just what if, or their own, or find your own mantra. But Jody, thank you so much. I had chills few times through this conversation because I am in this process right now, so I'm feeling it deeply. And I appreciate all the work that you do because you talk from the experience. You don't share something that you read. You share your experience and you're being honest with me, with yourself first. And thank you for doing this work because it's not easy. The hardest thing is to be honest with yourself, work on yourself, and change something in or about yourself.
What's so
None of
hard?
us want to do it. I'm pretty sure you don't wake up being like, I'm so excited to change myself and my habits. But something inside of you wants better life for yourself. And something inside of you deep down knows you can be better and you can do better. So thank you for listening to that voice.
Well, you're welcome. And thank you for, sharing your show with me and your audience with me. I hope somebody shares what their takeaway is with you.
And thank you so much for, I'm so emotional right now. Thank you, listeners, for listening. Have an amazing day or night, wherever you are. And until next time.